Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Woodlands Photography Club's annual contest. I'm Joan Tilton, the president of the Woodlands Photography Club, and we would like to share with you a very, very exciting event. But before I begin, I want to thank everyone who has been so helpful in making this happen. First of all, there's Drago's Tapu, who is the owner of the Glade Gallery, and he has offered generously for us to use his space. And also, nothing can happen without the dedication and the untiring talent of volunteers. So big thanks go to Tom Flink, Mac Rogers, Glenn Siegert, Bob Gower, Zariah Stern, Amy Butler, Ted Washington, and last but not least, our annual contest chair, Ellen Taylor.
All right.
Also a big thanks to the members who decided to participate in the contest this year. Our annual contest helps us further our technical and artistic skills in photography, learn from professional photographers during the judging process, and yes, by all means, have fun while we're doing it. And now, let's begin with Ellen Taylor, our contest chair, to work with and introduce the judges. Ellen?
Thank you. Sorry, we have the mic change real quick. Okay, first off, I'd like to just talk a little bit about our contest. We start planning for the contest in November of the year before. We try to get the rules published by February. This year we had 8 categories, and each category had a theme. And this year we allowed 1 entry per category per member of the club. And I want to thank everyone who participated. You've really made this event special and worth our while. So thank you all for participating. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce our 3 judges. First we have, returning from a couple years ago, Joe, I'm going to get it wrong, and I'm not going to cry. Lipia.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, very good. Joe is a brand developer specializing in website traffic growth, website UI, and advertising. He offers consulting in WordPress and IT services. He is the author and maintains the Adobe Lightroom plugin for Meetup.com. Joe is the founder and lead organizer of Used in Photologs, an organization of people with one main thing in common, an interest in practicing and learning more about photography. Joe is a longtime lover of photography and creating unique photographs. His passion is arranging opportunities to photograph interesting locations, both local and abroad. With challenges presented by COVID-19, Joe and Used in Photologs have instituted many meetups online with virtual meetup and seminars about photography. He is a Canon shooter and occasionally shoots film. Next, we have Chelsea Williams. Chelsea is a leading portrait photographer in Montgomery County and the surrounding area. She's based in Conroe, and Chelsea offers her skills of portraiture photography to unleash the inner beauty and strength of women throughout North Houston. Chelsea is a mom to 2 beautiful children, Max and Cheyenne, and wife to Jonathan. Chelsea received a bachelor's degree in photography from Sam Houston State, has earned certification from the Professional Photographers of America, and is an active member of the Texas Professional Photographers Association. Chelsea is continuously working on her craft by attending workshops and classes to stay current. I gotta take this off, I'm sorry. In the photography field, she also uses her knowledge and experience to teach her own workshops for PPA and TPPA. And last but not least is Mauricio Ramirez. Mauricio began his career as an editorial photographer in Mexico, offering services to top-notch professionals and corporations. In 2008, Mauricio moved to the United States to further his photography skills and to serve a larger clientele base. Based here in the Woodlands, Mauricio has become a leading commercial photographer, establishing himself as a first-class corporate and industrial photographer. Mauricio works with companies to help establish their brands. And so now I'm going to turn over to Chelsea, who's going to start us off with announcing the winners in the black and white category.
All right, I get this wonderful honor. So in the black and white category for architecture, The honorable mention is for Arches by Claudia Arcana? Aracama. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So we loved the symmetry of the arches and just the composition of it. The third place is Old World Charm Architecture by Grace Wu. I personally love the storytelling in this picture and just the leading lines, and so that one was third place. Second place in the black and white category is Juxtaposition by Denis Chernov. Yeah. We really liked the leading lines going up to the church and the framing of it, and we thought the intention behind capturing this image was very nice. And then the first place in the black and white category is Aqua by Mike Schaffner.
Schaffner.
Okay. And I'm okay, Joe. This was like one of your favorite ones. So
It was.
You want to defend it.
It was. So there, I don't think there was a defense to this, or a need for defense for this. I
No.
thought it was very
No.
well, very well
Deserved.
proposed. It was just a beautiful image. You're going to see plenty of highlight and shadow, and you can really tell what the story is here. I think the angle that it was taken at was also really, I mean, it's really easy to take a bad picture of a building, but I mean, there was a lot of time taken into what, where the person wanted to take the picture. So I thought this was a really nice image.
Yeah.
This is actually, I would have bought this image if it was, if it was in the running for something I was going to have to buy. Oh, my turn?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Joe is going to lead us with the people category, and the theme for that was up close or far away. And also, you guys can type in questions. Those of you at home, if you have questions for the judges, please type them in, and we'll relay your question to the judges after they announce the winners. Go ahead, Joe.
Fair enough. So what wasn't included in my introduction is was voted most likely to pass out in front of video cameras. So I'm going to try to read people's names, but you guys heard how my name is said, and I'm pretty bad at other people's names too. So I'm going to try my best, and hopefully you guys will be understanding. So for our honorable mention, the one that we loved was from Ellen Taylor. It was Galaxy of Freckles. I thought this was just adorable. Not only is it really good lighting from one side, there's some fill flash on the other, and sometimes it's really hard to get these pictures and have a nice blue, deep, rich sky. It's really easy to blow these kind of images out, and I thought it was really well done. So the next one is Rugby Faces, Lisa Griffiths, or is it Griffiths, I think? Griffiths, okay. We really like this picture. They say, how do you know that a sports picture is a winner? You have the ball in focus. And I think the focus, even though this seems like it's a shallow depth of field, all of the subjects, the three subjects of the image are all in focus. So we know exactly where our eye is supposed to go. The ball's in focus, and it's also a whole lot of action. There were a couple of things that had us leaning back and forth on this one. We were kind of questioning whether the color was maybe a little too green, but all in all, we thought it was a great picture. It also kind of doesn't seem like a far away picture or a close-up picture, but it really is. It's actually a really far away picture, just done with a zoom focus lens. So we thought this was a great picture for number 2. So for number 3 was Denis Chernov, and it's Piercing Eyes. And we all agree this was a beautiful picture. We couldn't agree, though, whether or not it was digital or it was film photography. And I could go either way, but I kind of think it was probably a digital photograph based off of the crop size. But yeah, we were really impressed with this image. And then first place was Delilah Dean and Dolores. This image really told a story. It walked us through using shadows and highlights. Had some nice inky blacks on one side and some brights on the other. Really allowed the viewer to make their way through the photograph from one side to the other and really understand the expression and the wisdom and the age of this photograph, of the subject in this photograph. So we all agreed this was a beautiful image, and congratulations to first place.
Any questions? Okay, there's no questions coming in. Feel free to send your questions and people, we're ready to hear from you. And next up we'll have Mauricio, and he'll be announcing the winners in nature, and the theme for nature was wildlife.
Perfect. Thank you. I first just want to say that this was a very pleasant process in terms of knowing us, debating each other, and I feel that it's so unfair when there's so many, a photograph, there's always something attached to it. And it's important to know that and to take it into the equation. But it is a fun process, definitely, to go through this. Okay, Gary Riddle, and we have nature, wildlife. Where's our fixed picture?
Gary Redor.
Gary Riddle,
Yes.
and the photo is, oh, there you go, Marley Love. So we as photographers cannot avoid our nature and start in critique, and critique is not only to make make a point of the things that we don't like or that we could have done better. That's not the point. How we crop it, how it comes to a combination. I think the first part that comes into here is how pleasant it is, and in family, in the telephoto that they're showing, the colors, it all come to the equation, and it's a very nice photo from this. Our third place is from Grace. Woo?
Woo.
Ooh, perfect. And it's Prairie Dogs, Family Love. Oh my God, this one I really felt myself. This is something that touches you. And we know all through photography, it's all about emotions, right? The accomplishment of getting the camera and putting it in and the setting and capture that moment and communicating, this is something that really make the case, and we loved it. Our next photo is from Bob
Gower.
Gower. And it's the penguin. Oh, perfect. A Delhi penguin, dressed to impress. Well, penguins are. This is a photo that I, besides the photo that we kind of communicated, and that's the good thing about having 3 judges, that we all defended it. So you should be very proud. And I think it has a very good moment to it, the telephoto, and just by being there and having it framed that way, I loved it. Our first place is Lisa Griffin's, right? The dog dance. Well, we know as photographers the effort, the decisive moment, the symmetry, and all what goes in place from one of these photos. So this is one of the things that when we saw the whole composite of photos, the grid view of the photos, that pulls your eyes and your attention. So definitely is well deserved the first place.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio. So don't forget, we're fielding questions. And I have a comment from Dennis Chernoff, who took the picture of the Indian with the piercing eyes.
Okay.
His comment is, it was a digital image, and the smudges are from, they're from the filter from a turkey leg. So he must have been at a festival and they served turkey legs.
All right. Whatever it takes, Vaseline, people use Vaseline, just whatever it takes to get the
funny.
smudge.
Or sweat from your...
Yeah, exactly. And just to add to that, and add to something that Mauricio said, we didn't see any bad images.
Yeah.
They were all fantastic images, and I know that people really put in, a lot of people traveled really far, and some people, did stuff at home, but they were all fantastic images, and we actually had to kind of battle it out a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
times as far as
Yeah, take out
which
the
ones we
gloves.
wanted to keep or where we wanted to put them in line. So, you know, we had 2 hours allocated, I think, and then an hour for lunch, and we ate all the way through our lunch, still
yeah.
doing images, and then about 20 minutes after lunch, and we're still looking at the images, trying to figure out which ones we're going to win. So it was not an easy process
I
this
know.
year. A lot of great images.
Great, great. Okay, you could pass that on to Chelsea, and Chelsea will be doing our next category, which is technique, and the theme for technique was flash photography.
Okay, so for honorable mention is Denis Chernov for Virtuous et Honors. And we did like the technique in this one of kind of nailing the lighting and the skin tones, and it's just a very pleasant image. The third place image that we had goes to Gary Rador for Dancing Droplets. I personally liked this in the flash category because you can see coming in from the top left where the light's coming from, and also several comments were made about the difficulty of catching
Yeah.
the droplets and freezing them in time like that. So I think this technically is a very good image for those reasons. The second place winner is Alicia Komanik, is that correct? With Curtsy. We enjoyed this in the technical flash category just for, one, for composition. It's a lovely composition and how it draws your eye, and we found it technically very, very nice to look at. And then the very first place winner for the flash category is Grace Wu for Wine Glass Reflection.
Yep.
I think we all agreed that technically
Yeah,
this is
that
a
was
very,
no debate.
a very difficult image to create. And with the colors and everything that was done here, it was very technically accurate in everything that was done. And so we wanted to give big kudos to, we know how hard that is to create.
This product.
So congratulations to everybody in the flash category for technique.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to field trips with Joe. Will announce those. And these were photos taken at TWPC field trips.
Sure.
First 3 months of the year, we had field trips. And then we had to get creative with staying at home. So we had a lot of themed stay-at-home field trips. And I feel like our members really nailed some of the themes that were given for those field trips.
Absolutely.
Okay, Joe.
Absolutely. So for honorable mention, we have Bob Gower and Texture Elephant Style. We really liked this one. You know, it's a nice, nice image for being able to go out on a safari. The next one was Alicia Komanik and Remember Me. They say if you want to win a photography award, make sure you have kids and,
Oh, yeah.
and animals in the photo. So, I mean, I say that in jest. That's really not the case. But this is a great image. The front lighting so that you have a nice silhouette in the background. This came out to be a beautiful, beautiful image. Okay, so the second place is Glenn Sergent. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Fire in the Blue Eyes. We had several images.
Oh, yeah, we went through this.
I'm sorry?
We went through this one a lot.
We did, we did.
This,
So absolutely, and there were several images of the wolves, and this we felt was one of the strongest wolf images because the photographer caught it in just the right time to get a very strong, menacing kind of look.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we went back and forth on were some of the other images. The crop was a little taller, so we didn't lose the tops of the ears. So there was some debate back and forth. But in the end, this is the one that we picked, and I stand behind it. I think it's a beautiful image. Very well done. Mm-hmm. And then the first place winner is Gary Ridorn,
Redor.
sorry, and Painted Church. And it's tough to get images that are perfectly centered and, everything is lined up, and especially when you have the pews that are kind of out of alignment, it's hard to get it just right. But we really enjoyed this picture, and we thought it was the best out of the list.
All
So
right.
congratulations, all of you.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the new member category. And Mauricio will announce those winners. And
Perfect. Is John Small?
John Small,
John
yes.
Small, perfect. The Woodlands Eagle will come up.
Oh, yes. The theme for the new members was the Woodlands.
Is it the photo coming
Okay.
up?
Nope. Matt, ready?
There you go. Excellent. So we're so proud, and I'm living in the Woodlands. We're all chasing for those eagles, and I know the effort that it takes sometimes, the times that you have to go there. So, new member, welcome.
Yes.
and I would say that the good thing when we go through a critique is that it feels personal, right? Once you are, I claim that it's like you're undressing me, and I feel shy being undressed, of course. But again, this photo, we went through it in terms of the process of where's the focus, how did it frame it. Any photo is welcome, and we try to recognize the effort also and the composition, but it's definitely well done. Our second photo is from Kathy Craven.
Kathy Craven.
Kathy Craven, I'm sorry. And this is the rose array. Well, again, this is romantic. I'm interested being from our generation. Well, I guess my generation. I'm sorry, I get my microphone.
Oh, I'm there too.
Oh,
Okay, it's all right.
I'm not alone.
Y'all speak
Yeah.
for yourselves.
Speak for yourself.
Oh.
Well, the first part that brought me is the Instagram format, right? The square format. But again, it's something that we also talked about. It's definitely beautiful. One of the things that come out to me is that how important is a photographer for himself and not by this camera. The best camera that we can use is the one that we have with us, and it has become our iPhone. In the critique, I'm not critiquing the resolution or whatever, the expression. And we all have something to express in ourselves. So it's interesting to know how people want to communicate to each other. But again, sometimes when we see photos, it's how romantic I am, or we were saying about each of us and how we see. But congratulations, Kathy. This is a beautiful photo. Our next photo is from Randy Munsey.
Randy Muncie.
Munsey. Thank you for
You're welcome.
the translation, the translation. Again, the woodlands. We all enjoy the woodlands, the reflections, the sky. And again, as photographers, we know our struggles, the highlights, how the exposure has to compensate. And we know how much work and effort we put in the post process. Again, it's some of the things that I'm excited as a photographer, that the first part is the vision, right? The second part is the implementation and how do we convey a photo. And to me, in the past, it speaks about my age, we would take it to the lab to develop, right? Mm-hmm. Now the lab is us, right? And that's a very important part of the process, right? And it also comes very important. It's we can either save ourselves or whatever. When we used to shoot E6, oh my God, you really have to be truthful with ourselves. Anyway, congratulations from the view and the reflection.
And for those who are younger than us, E6 means
A transparency.
transparency or
Yeah.
slide film, because back in
There
the
you
slide
go.
film days, whatever you took a picture of, that was the image. There was
Oh,
no going
yeah.
back, and there was
There's
no
no way
editing
back
it.
from there.
That was straight out of camera.
Okay, our first place photo, Daniel Johnson. There you go. Again, the woodland. So we enjoy. One of the things that we immediately recognize is the effort. To me, and it's not that one is more important than the other, right? The effort, and I mean, I was just dreaming or thinking about where he parked his car, where is he standing, right? The long exposure, how many shots he got. So anything, all of that is part of our learning process, right? We have done that 20 times, and each time we're a perfectionist. I think we are as good as how many mistakes have we committed, how many attempts have we done it, and the end result, it always what brings here and discover. But thank you. This is a very nice photo. On our next category.
Okay. So our next category is open. Chelsea is going to announce that. A little bit about our open category. There's no restriction on the subject matter, no restriction on the photo. We just ask that you not, when our photographers edited the photos, that they didn't interrupt the integrity of the photo itself. To do as little change or editing as possible with the photo. So go ahead.
I think this was one of the hardest categories for us because they were all so good in different ways. Being an open category, it was very difficult to compare some of them, but this is what we got it down to. So for honorable mention, we have Grace Wu with colorful toadstool hoodoo.
There you go.
And I personally loved this image because the strong colors, and I like the lines in the rock that are leading up to the main formation. And I just enjoyed the color and the composition on this particular image. So I feel like that's why we got honorable mention on this one. The third place winner is Joan Tilton with Sunlit Sunflower.
Hey,
Yay, Joan.
good job, Joan.
And so I think a lot of this was the really, really bright light shining through the sunflower and just giving that impact. And I think that was a lot of it, is the impact of the color and a very clear composition on that part.
I hope Joan didn't have other pictures that we talked about him.
Oh,
We didn't know who
now
took the
we know.
pictures. So hopefully, sorry, Joan. Still invite me up next year.
Second place in the open category is Dennis Chernov and Dimming of the Day. And this is another one that I absolutely love just for composition and color. And, I just think there's a lot of technical skill into getting all those things together. And also just kind of a nice story behind, the end of the day in that part. And I really enjoyed this particular image. Our very first place winner for the open category is Anne Green and Northern Lights. And I think this one wins first place for obvious reasons.
Speaks of himself.
It is an absolutely gorgeous composition, and the colors and getting everything into place. It is a technically very difficult image to get, and I think we all had a strong appreciation for that.
Yeah,
We did.
It's really easy to try to do this and get those stars where the stars are moving, but I think, yeah, it's a great image. I was a big fan of this image.
Oh, yeah.
It was very well done, technically very well done.
Alrighty.
All right, next
Congratulations, everyone. So now we're going to move on to our creative digital manipulation category. And these are photos with major digital manipulation, but we did require that all of the work within the photo had to be the work or the photograph or the pieces from the photographer themselves. They couldn't borrow from stock, or it had to be their own work.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so for honorable mention, it was Mike Schaefer in Personal Data Breach. So I thought we all thought this was really clever, the way this was put together. The way, part of the face is falling away and you can see what's behind the face. Then you have all of the breached data that's flying away off of the head. It was very well done. So I think we can all agree this was, and not just the digital part of it, but I don't know if this is a self-portrait, if that's Mike himself, but
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, just the portrait itself is an excellent portrait. So I wish all my selfies looked that good. Okay. Then number two, or I'm sorry, third place is Elisa Komanik, and with the Wolf Pack. And this was really well done. I have no idea if she digitally created that snow or if she found that snow in her archives from another picture that she had taken, but we really liked how well she integrated all of the wolves together. So there was a couple of wolves that you know, maybe their horizon line didn't match with the other wolves, so there was a little bit, you know, where they weren't quite together, but it was still so believable that this would make a great print. This would definitely make a beautiful print on somebody's wall. Dennis Chernoff for second place, and this is Phantasmagoria. And I think all of us, you know, gravitated toward this picture pretty quick. We really enjoyed the technique and the kaleidoscope feeling to it. It's very well lit, using the same image multiple times, you know, flipped and rotated. So, or not rotated, but flipped and you know, layered on top of layers. So we all agreed that this was a really great image. And then the first place was Gary Ridor. This was a personal favorite, and I pretty much voiced my opinion right off the bat that I really thought this was well done. Looking at the image, you know, both the overall image and when you zoom in, everything looked like it fit within the same space, even though it's very disparate objects from different images. It's really easy to get the color off a little bit, or to have somebody look like, you know, if you superimpose a person into a location, it kind of looks like the person isn't really there, you know, that sort of thing, like they're too big for the location or too small for the location. All of those things are really easy to do, but this was executed really well. We felt it was a little dark on the right-hand side, but it's dark to a blue hue, so it actually just helps communicate the fact that this was taken at night and that there were yellow lights. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The yellow lights didn't translate onto the right-hand side. So you have a light right there, but it's not reflecting off the trees. That was pretty much the only critique that we had for this. Otherwise, this could be like a book cover, or it could be you know, a scene in a romantic video game. We really liked this image and thought it was really well done. So it's well deserved, and congratulations.
Okay, right. And so now, drum roll please, Mauricio will be announcing
Oh my God.
the Best in Show. This is the one you guys have been all waiting for, and this is the photo that won overall in the whole contest. And Mauricio will announce this winner.
My God, I wasn't prepared for this. Soraya Stern. Oh my God. Well, this is one of those things that immediately catch our attention, to the three of us. So there was nothing to debate. Better than defendant. There's so many things. Circles, lines, the way you go into the photo. Photos kind of take you in, so it's pleasant. It invites you. I mean, you can tell that I have no words to to describe it. It's emotion. It's really an emotion. So, congratulations, Soraya. You did a great job. Focus, sharpness. It's all in there.
Focus was definitely right on.
Right on time. Congratulations.
Yep.
Very well. And the next one is?
Okay. All right, well, the next one is actually for me. I'm going to announce it.
Oh, perfect.
And these are the Members' Choice winners. And we actually had a tie this year for Members' Choice. So the tie goes to Alicia Komanek with this image, Wolfpack. And then also Dahlia Dean with the Grand Prismatic
Nice.
photograph. And these two have tied for Members' Choice. And thank you to all of you who voted. We really appreciate that and for participating. And congratulations, Alicia and Dahlia. Okay. So we also had said we would award 6 Curator's Choice places for each category. And I now have those 6 place winners for each category. So here they are. In black and white, I'm going to take this down. We have the Getty Museum Reflection by Becky Anderson. We have The Light by Claudia Smith. Tiles Fusion by Dahlia Dean. This Old House by Ed Gorman. Stranding Tall on the Strand by Glenn Siegert. And The Coda Tower by Tom Flink. In the people category, we have Vision by Amy Butler. We have Photography Opportunity by Anne Green. We have Tear and Sophie by Claudia Arakama. We have Love at First Lick by Glenn Siegert. Okay, I'm gonna let you say this
Oh
one.
my God. Un granjero cubano.
Thank you. By Mike Schaffner. And Senioritis by Zariah Stern. Okay. In technique, we have Born to Survive by Ellen Taylor. I feel embarrassed.
What was that, Ellen Taylor?
The Vase by Joan Tilton. I Have a
Yay.
Secret by Tom Flink. And Power Stroke by Zariah Stern. In Wild Card, we have Piercing Stare by Amy Butler. Downtown by Claudia Arakama. Mirror Mirror by Claudia Smith. Wooden Alley at Night by Dahlia Dean. Yellow Decor Under Window Light by Grace Wu. And Glassy Splash by Zariah Stern. Okay, in the creative digital, we have Picnic Tables at White Sands by Becky Anderson. End of Fall by Dahlia Dean. Red and Black by Ed Gorman. COVID Dreary by Joan Tilton. Torn Memories by Lisa Griffiths. And Light the Way by Tom Flink. In nature, we have Drifting Afloat by Amy Butler. Lion Cubs on the Serengeti by Daniel Johnson. Pastel Symphony by Glenn Siegert. Surprise by Linda Cisneros. Morning Whistlers, Mike Schaffner. And Agitated by Zariah Stern. In the open category, we have Love Padlocks by Alicia Komanek. Golden Memories by Glenn Siegert. Montreal Church by John Small. Lions Drinking by Lisa Griffiths. Safe Harbor by Pam Ward. And Infused Spirits by Zariah Stern. And those were our Curator's Choice Award winners. And just for a little closing remarks on my part, I would like to say thank you to the 3 of you for taking this day and
pleasure.
giving it to our club. We
enjoyed
really,
you.
really appreciate
Very
it.
much
We
enjoyed it.
are so thankful for you guys being here today.
And it's awesome that you guys do this. You know, it's really a tough show to put on each year, and I'm really enjoy being part of it. And also, just real quick, if I could just throw this in there, having run a photography group for 11 years, I know it's really hard to get new people to engage. And the fact that you guys got so many of your new members to get involved, congratulations to them for getting involved and doing their thing. Because I mean, there was definitely some great images in there.
All right.
So
Thank you. Okay, I'd also like to thank the Rules Committee. This group of people met in November and December of last year to comprise the rules for this year. And that is Ed Gorman, Mike Schaffner, Amy Butler, and Zariah Stern. I'd also like to thank the team of volunteers that are here today. And that is Mac Rogers, who put together the whole slideshow for everyone. Joan Tilton, who leads us fearlessly. Andy is here and he's taking pictures, so you all will get to see those later of behind the scenes. Amy Butler, Zariah Stern, Glenn Siegert, and of course we wouldn't be live without Tom. Tom has been awesome and I really thank you for doing this for us.
good job, all of you guys, very much.
So I couldn't have done it without you. And I also would like to thank Dragos Tapu and the Glade for allowing us to be here today. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Joan.
Very good. Thank you. Get myself.
Sorry, Joan, if we said anything about your picture.
I just have to say that our photos this year were just incredible, beautiful, challenging, and without a doubt, the judges chose well. So thank you. With that, and I also want to say, Joe mentioned this, Mauricio, Chelsea. You know, it's a very emotional thing to bring your artwork, and regardless of how technically we're focused on a photograph, it is ours. It comes from us. So there's a bit of a risk to put it out there and enter a contest and then have it evaluated by professionals. However, the rewards in taking that risk is just fantastic. Even if one of your favorite photos were totally rejected, it's okay. Okay. So again, I'd like to thank the judges.
Well, there was nothing rejected.
No, that's right.
Nothing was rejected.
Well, okay,
We-
okay. So you know that's it right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
emotionally involved. One of the photos I entered, the judges said, and it's okay, and I get it. The critiquing process is what I learned from why it didn't work this year. So I don't know what I'll do next year, but I will definitely enter again, and I'm hoping that this will certainly encourage the others who didn't have a chance to enter this year to enter next year. We have a question. Okay. Question for judges. Were there any photographs that were disqualified because of rules violations?
I think the disqualification happened before we got to them.
Yeah.
So by the time we saw everything had already been kind of pre-qualified
Filtered.
as
Yeah.
counted.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There were no disqualified. All who entered the contest were provided to you to see and do final judging on them.
Yeah, that would have made judging so much more easier if we could have just thrown some out because they violated the rules. But
You know, I
No.
think we are trying to be extremely inclusive, especially some of our photographers are just beginning.
Right.
If you're taking that chance to enter, well, come on, let's do it and see what happens.
And I would like to encourage anybody who is just starting out not to take it negatively. Maybe you didn't get where you wanted to be because you're not necessarily going up against somebody who's been doing it for 10 years. You're just going, next year, can I do better than I did this year? And so as opposed to me against you, it's me against me.
Well said, Chelsea.
And
well
I'm also
said.
open if anybody wants to send me an email or contact me on Facebook or Messenger. I'm more than happy if you'll send me a copy of your photo so I'll remember which one it is. I'll be glad to tell you what it is that we well, maybe not what everybody else said, but I can tell you what my impression was of the image.
All right, very nice, very thoughtful of you. And I do want to share also that part of the Woodlands Photography Club is to really be open to anyone who has an interest, a love, or curiosity about photography. If you're just picking up your camera or buying a new one or getting one for the holidays or something, fine, join us. We have people that it's just a hobby and that's fine, but they learn at every meeting because we
Right.
have guest speakers throughout the year. We have field trips and we have workshops. So there's always an opportunity to grow and perhaps light your fire a little bit.
Right.
We also have some professionals in the club that are very generous in sharing their skills and passing it on to the others. So as Chelsea said, when we have a contest, it is open to everyone. And the competition is really with yourself. So next year, maybe we won't have COVID. I can't
Hopefully.
promise anybody that because it certainly changed the way we did our contest this year. But I hope to have many, many more photos from everyone because we've been forced to get very creative during this period of, I call it house arrest. Is there another question?
There is.
Okay, I have a question about the wolf pack and the horizon. Was that the one or the
Yes.
one?
that
I
was
knew
the
you
one.
were going to get something.
From Alicia.
Yeah. About the horizon that you talked about with the wolves, the group of wolves, I don't know if you can pull that
So
photo up.
it's kind of the same thing that I was mentioning about the trumpet photo. It's really hard to take a group of different photographs and to make them look like they all live in the same space. Part of it is the lighting, because the lighting could be coming from different directions, or if you, like when you guys went to see the wolves, you know, the pictures that you take when you're pointing this direction are going to have a different shadow depth or direction than the ones you take from going in the other direction. So, you know, all of those things kind of play in, and you kind of have to mess with things in Photoshop. But, so for example, for this image, some of the things that kind of threw me off when I looked at it, and I said, well, maybe all of these wolves don't live in the same sphere of reality, would be, for example, the wolf that's laying down on the left-hand side. So his sizing and his distance up and down, it doesn't quite match the other dog or the other wolf. So from that perspective, it kind of looked like these wolves didn't live on the same plane of reality, and so that's one of the critiques that I had for it. Otherwise, it's a great image. I love the way the way the photographer did the snow. It was just, there was a couple of wolves that looked like, you know, they belonged in one picture, and you know, it's compared to other pictures or other wolves, and when you try to mix multiple subjects together in one image, sometimes it can get a little difficult. I think it may have been a stronger picture. For example, if we had had fewer wolves, that were the lighting and the shadowing and where they are in relative space, if that was just tweaked a little bit, we had fewer animals there. That's just my personal opinion. But otherwise, it's a great image, and it would look great on a postcard. It'd look great on a wall. I think it'd make a beautiful print. It was just, you know, my one critique that I had for it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ellen, are there any more questions?
No, but I just want to remind you that we're on a 10-second delay. So
Okay.
it takes a while before they see what we've done here.
Oh, okay.
So it may take a minute or two before we
All
hear.
right.
1001, 1002.
I have a reply coming.
Okay, here we
Okay.
go.
We're going to have a debate now.
Right. Hey, it's too late. We've already won.
You're right.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay,
Wait, it's coming.
it's coming.
All right, I'll just tell you.
This would be a great
Thank you
book
so-
cover.
This is from Alicia. Thank you so much. It is 10 images together.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now ask her. I know there's a 10-second delay, and she doesn't have to answer right this second. But I'm really curious if that snow is real or if she created that snow. So we'll just throw that out there, and eventually she'll reply back.
Exactly.
But the snow was really well done. It's really hard to fake simulated rain. It's really hard to fake simulated snow, and I thought this was really well done.
I have a question. I feel silly typing it and not sending it to Ellen. I'm just going to ask it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Would you guys have felt that it would have been more beneficial to you to have all the 10 images, or you know, however many images you used for that digital at the time? Would it have been helpful to see, like, okay, these were the images they used to construct this art?
Let me go ahead and
Oh,
repeat
okay.
that question, because Soraya doesn't have a mic on.
Okay.
But she did mention, for a composite like this, would it be beneficial for you to see all the images that were included in the one final image? Would that have helped you a little bit in, analyzing the piece?
So yeah, I'll answer that real quick. I think the image is going to stand on its own, and so the image itself is what we're judging, not the source material. Now, I think from an educational standpoint, when we're showing this image to other people that we're not selling it to, if we're showing it to other photographers, yeah, absolutely, people are probably going to want to see those other 10 images. But from a standpoint of I'm judging, or we're judging as a group, the merits of an image. I want to see the image. Not necessarily, it's kind of like wanting to see the behind the scenes picture of somebody who's taking a photograph out on the Serengeti, for example.
Okay.
I'm not concerned with whether or not they're in a tent or out on the, standing around on themselves, or if they're out in a truck. I just want to know that that's going to be a great image. And I think this is the same thing. So I think the image should stand on its own. From an education standpoint, it would be interesting to see the other 10 images, but it wouldn't change the way we judge the image.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Is there one more question? Zariah? Oh, you have it?
The
Okay.
answer is the snow was a Photoshop brush.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Okay.
great. Well done. Well done.
Okay. One more question here. Was it harder for the judges to do this digitally versus seeing actual prints? And that came in from Bob Gower.
There were some pluses and minuses to it.
Yes.
There's a lot of, having judged several of these in the past, there's a lot of value to being able to get right up in on a print and actually see the print, the focus and that sort of thing. But it was also easier to, I don't know if you guys would agree or not,
Yeah.
to rate, because we could,
Okay.
when we did it as a big room full of pictures, it was hard to go back and forth from one side of the building to the other to pick the 1, 2, and 3, first, second, third place. But when we were able to say, okay, we know that these 7 photos or these 6 photos, we really, really like, they're very, very strong. Let's find our 4 that we really like. Being able to do that in Lightroom was really helpful. So it's really, I don't think it's a good or bad either way. From a traditional photography group or traditional photography club point of view, we want those pictures on the wall.
Yes.
But that's not always the best way to do it. So I think we could have done it either way.
Very good. Thank you so much, Joe. And it was a challenge this year to go virtually in order to go ahead and have the contest and keep the love and the motivation of photography going under our circumstances. So we don't have a decision about next year yet. Like many of us, we don't know what's happening tomorrow, but we will certainly have a 2021 contest this year. So all members and others who are thinking about becoming a member, get yourselves ready, okay? Because we hope we'll join you. So I want to just give a little gift here to Joe to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
All righty.
Thank you for the
A little
pizza
gift
too.
card.
man.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic
Chelsea.
pizza.
Thank you.
All right, and Mauricio, thank you
Thank you.
so much for
My
joining us
pleasure.
today.
Thank
Oh
you
my
very
goodness,
much.
we so appreciate it. Also, as Ellen said, the man behind the scene, Mac Rogers, is forever there and forever helpful. So
Yeah, good job.
give me your hand. Thank you. We got to do that, right? Okay. And
Thank you, Mac.
yes. And it was Tom Flink who brought his talent, his skill, his brains, his muscles, his everything to making it possible to go virtual, from forms to signing up to PayPal and to today. So Tom, thank you very, very much.
Good job, Tom. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. One person who's not here is Ted Washington. And Ted, at the last minute, Tom called him and said, hey, we need some filming equipment. What does Ted say? Come on over, I got it in my garage.
There you
And
go.
so Tom, I'm going to have you send over a gift card to Ted when you return all the equipment. So thank you very, very much. And last but not least, here we go. This is a big thank you to Ellen. Here we go.
Yay.
Ellen, my dear. She has no limit to what she puts into making this contest happen every year.
you.
And she committed to doing it again next year. So yes.
All right.
Didn't you? Yes.
Because they have a mask on, you can't see the face on me.
Draw the
I know.
smile.
I know. We're learning to be very
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We're learning to be very expressive with our eyes nowadays. So just before we close, you know, we have to have a commercial, but I assure you it's not political, so don't worry about that part. But the Woodlands Photography Club, check out our website, thewoodlandsphotographyclub.com. You will see all these images that were entered under the 2020 annual contest, okay? You'll also see some previous years of contests on that. Also, you'll find our next meeting time, and we are holding our meetings monthly, the second Monday of every month, via Zoom. So check the website. There's a link for the Zoom to join the meeting, or you'll contact Tom, who takes care of our Zoom meeting signups. And next month, we have a fabulous speaker, by the way, Adam Kyle Jackson. He's a storm chaser, and his
Ooh.
photography of skies and everything else
Wow.
are mind-blowing. So try to join that meeting and see his work, and then we will continue to have fabulous presenters, and I might even talk to these judges about doing something special for us every month next year, so you'll learn something new. Okay, so thank you so much to everyone for joining, taking the risk to get your stuff out there, all the volunteers to make it happen, and last but not least, our judges. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
This was fun. Thank you.